Beautiful. And in your comfortable position, either sitting on your seat bones or with your knees tucked underneath you, just finding somewhere where you feel effortlessly able to ascend your spine towards the sky. And maybe you can relax the backs of your hands on your knees or your thighs. And just in this beginning part of the yoga class, there can be some challenges in trying to encourage our mind to stop thinking about our day or our week and just letting go of that. So maybe a little exercise we could do just to help that is to think of a word that summarizes your week. And that could be whatever word springs to mind. And almost see that word as though it's not attached to you. You can almost see it written in front of you. Beautiful. And we're gonna, invite our weeks to a close by imagining that word almost dissipating like a cloud. We're going to thank that week for all it's taught us, or maybe for being over. And just fully invite our mind to be here in the present, at least for the next hour, if not for the whole weekend. Yeah. So if you haven't done so already, maybe closing your eyes and feeling that relaxation come from your forehead's melting down, your eyebrows, healing down your face, letting go of any of the wrinkles, breathing in softness, bringing attention to the shoulders, where we often hold a lot of tension, and there might be some movements you need to do to encourage them to let go. Beautiful, and then we'll bring the attention to the breath. So just seeing where you're breathing initially, not trying to change the shape or form of the breath in any way. Our breath can tell us a lot about our emotional state. Sometimes we're so detached from our emotional state we don't really realise what our breath is telling us. Let's bring in lots of positivity today in our practice, however your week's been, and encourage that breath to be as deep and full as possible. So drawing the breath all the way to the navel, imagining or actually allowing the navel to rise as you inhale. And as you exhale fully, draw the navel all the way to the spine. It's almost like you're trying to squeeze out all of the air, giving the internal organs a massage. And then inhale deeply again into the chest and then into the belly. Maybe as you exhale, you want to make some noises just to let go of anything you're holding on to. Maybe it's something you don't feel you were very heard this week. You can hold a lot of tension in our voice box. Sometimes just relaxing, letting out any sounds can just feel great. Beautiful. So this week I was lucky enough to go to an amazing forest in South Somerset and spent a lot of time connecting with nature, where I was encouraged to learn from the forest and the animals, because nature has all the answers. We really don't need Google. As my teacher told me, all the answers are in the forest. So one aspect that I particularly enjoyed was the thought of the eagle and all the things that the eagle can teach us. So the eagle from high above can see the tiniest detail on the ground, and it has the sharpest vision. However, at the same time, it can see the curvature of the earth. So it teaches us to see things from the highest perspective. I just love that image. Maybe that doesn't work for you. Feel free just to leave that behind if so. But maybe you can bring some eagle characteristics into your practice today if you'd like to. Beautiful. And from your deep breathing, let's bring the prayer to the heart. Option to take a moment to set an intention for your practice today. Beautiful. And sealing that intention with a single breath. It'd be really nice to start a class today with an Om. I normally only finish with it, but it feels really nice. Like that's all we need today. So let's all breathe in together. And if you'd like to join me. Beautiful. And enjoy your practice, everyone. As you blink over your eyes, let's reach our hands to the sky. Breathe in. Interlinking your thumbs, opening the fingers, maybe opening the chest. Beautiful. Exhale, release the hands behind you. Roll the shoulders back, and then on your next inhale, let's see if you can open the chest even more. Push fingers into the ground, make tents of your hands. Maybe look up if the neck allows. Beautiful. And exhale, arch the spine forward like it's a snake, reaching hands forward, making tents in front. Allow the head to tuck in. Maybe you can take a blind breath here if that feels nice. Stick out the tongue. Walking your hands back in. Let's find tabletop pose in your own time. Maybe removing any pillows you might be sitting on. Let's inhale, open the heart forward. Exhale, pushing the ground away, arch the spine. Now you may want to just move through these movements with your own breath. Or maybe some more freestyle movements feel better for you today. So taking the curve, the ribs into a circular motion, maybe figure of 8. Really loosen up any parts of the spine here. If you're able to take it into figure of 8, this is one of my favourite movements. Well, it can get a bit awkward at first. Nice. Nice. Let's inhale, sweep the right hand to the sky. Exhale, threading it through, right shoulder to the ground, left arm long. So making a tent again with that left hand. Option to straighten the left leg. Keeping the hips as equal as you can, in spite of this twist. Maybe lifting that knee makes you feel quite unstable, so you can bring it back down if that feels better for you. Beautiful. Lower the left knee, left hand in front of the face, right hand sweeps to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale here. Exhale, tucking the toes, finding your plank. If this feels too strong, energy is low, do lower the knee. This is also a really nice strengthening. But wherever you are, we're going to really think about having soft elbows here. So not just stacking the bones and hanging off our skeletal system. We want the muscles to be engaged. So squeeze the elbows back slightly so almost the eyes of your inner elbows are pointing forwards. Beautiful. Inhale here. We're going to sweep our arms to the right hand to the sky. So rotate onto the left hand side of the feet. Inhale, right hand to the sky. Maybe gaze follows that right hand. If this feels too strong, lower this left knee. Maybe the knee is naturally lowered. Any adaptations that your body wants to take, do take them. Inhale here. Exhale, lower the right hand. Inhale here. Exhale, lower the knee. Let's take a cat-cow, moving as smoothly as you can with the breath. Almost imagining maybe you're flying in the spine, no movements happen rapidly or jerkily. Inhale, on your next one, left hand sweeps to the sky. Exhale, threading it under, left shoulder to the ground. Really nice. Inhale, right arm long, fingertips so that we create this energy in the palm. The whole right arm is really active and maybe the right leg straightened. Cool. Wherever you are, breathing. If you find you lose the breath, just coming out of stage, maybe lowering the knee, maybe bringing the right hand back. breath is the most important element. Breathing all the way down to the heel. Exhale, left, right knee down. Right hand in front of the face, left hand sweeps to the sky. Exhale, bring the hand down, finding your plank variation that suits you today. Heels shoot back, belly in, core super strong as you rotate onto the right hand side of your feet, left hand to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale here. Exhale, lower the knees, chest, chin between the hands, scoop forwards, finding your sphinx pose. Elbows underneath the shoulders. And spreading the hands as wide as you can. And pulling them towards your heart, so your heart is being pulled forward. You almost feel like it's jumping out, something's grabbing you, your heart's wanting to move forward. Beautiful. Exhale, let's lower down. Hands underneath your shoulders, option to lower the knees or push up into your plank. Exhale, down, facing dog. And we'll take this as a dynamic downward facing dog. So pedaling out the feet. Nice. Maybe taking some twists and turns. I like to keep my feet hip width apart. Inhale, lift up onto the toes as high as you can. Exhale, rotate onto the outer edges of the feet. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left hand in. It's like a twisted dog. And as always, the breath leads the movement. So you resist moving or changing the breath until the breath is ready to move itself. Inhale, back to the center. Let's look at our hands and either walk, step, or float the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. We're going to take a soft fold here, holding elbows behind the knees. Head is really heavy. And we're snuggling our body as much as we can into our thighs. Keep the space between the ears and the shoulders. You may want to ride up. And then bringing attention to the feet. Can you just get the inner toe joints touching? This may not be suitable for all of us if you have any knee or hip problems, in which case taking a wider stance. Otherwise, inhale wherever your feet are, spread the toes as wide as you can, lifting them up. And then keeping the little gaps between the toes, lower them back down. And then noticing how that may have elevated the inner arches, activating the deep intrinsic foot muscles, which sometimes get a bit weak in our soft shoes. Beautiful. And then releasing the elbows. We're going to come all the way to standing, bringing our arms wide. Inhale. Deep inhale. Maybe there's a gentle back bend. Keeping tailbone tucked. And then exhale, bend the knees. Come back into that forward fold. We're going to take 4 more of these. So really moving with the breath. Inhale, arms wide. Palms facing down. Prayer, maybe gentle back bend increasing. Exhale, floating down. Maybe the arms feeling like wings. Inhale, floating the arms back up. Hips forward, gentle back bend. Exhale, we're going to slowly, controlled, consciously. Maybe you're imagining flying super high, seeing the earth from all the way up here, and how things might look differently from up there. Inhale, reaching the hands up, final one. As we exhale this time, float down, bring the fingertips in line with the toes. Inhale, straighten the legs and come halfway up. Exhale, step the right foot to the back of the mat, lowering the right knee. Lovely. Inhale, sweep the hands up. And exhale, option to bring the left fingertips down. A little low lunge here, the knee is on the ground. Top of the foot is pushing into the ground, and maybe the left arm is reaching towards the ground. Maybe it can't quite touch it, that's fine. And the right arm reaching over. We have this Feeling of elongation all the way from that right knee up to the right fingertips through the waist. Come back to the breath. 2 more deep breaths here. Maybe the gaze comes down to the left fingertips. Getting the cervical spine involved. Seeing how that changes the feelings throughout the body. Inhale here. Exhale, right hand comes down beside the left foot. Tucking the back toes. Inhale, sweep the left hand to the sky. Maybe the back knee straightens. Feeling as though your arms, maybe your wings are so expansive. Left hand reaching to the sky, right hand just being pulled down to the ground. Nice. Get stable in your front foot and your back toes. On your next inhale, pull the left hand back to the back foot. Inhale here, twisted high lunge. Maybe the gaze can follow the left fingertips. 3 breaths. Think about drawing right hip to right knee. Right knee is straight or slightly tucked if any problems with the lower back. And the right heel shooting back confidently. Nice. Inhale here. Beautiful. Exhale, cartwheel the hands all the way open, so it opens the other long end of the mat. Now into your warrior 2. Beautiful. So really tuck the tailbone here, draw navel in. And almost as though you're drawing a bow and arrow, draw the right hand back slightly, just to get the spine in line. It's almost like in life, we're always reaching forward for the future, but we need to draw ourselves back to the present moment. Nice. Inhale, lifting all the toes, spread them wide, place them down. Now work with Mula Bandha a little bit if we haven't already. So drawing everything up between the seat bone. That's a little bit challenging in the warrior 2, but we'll try this anyway. You're tightening all those muscles and pulling them up towards your navel, and your navel draws in as well. Nice. Inhale one more time. Exhale. We're going to reverse the warrior. Left hand sweeps over. Looking at the left fingertips. From here, we're going to reverse that foot position. So we're picking up the toes before. Now we're going to pick up the heel. And lower down even more into the hips if you can. Really thinking about tucking the tailbone because it will want to stick out here. Thinking about keeping the femur, the thigh in line with the ground. You inhale, coming back up. Let's straighten both legs. Point the toes in, into the hands behind the back, looking up to the sky. Exhale, fold forwards. So toes slightly pigeon-toed. Legs are really strong here, so keep pulling the kneecaps up towards your body. And then it's most likely that our weight is back in our heels, so bring the weight forward into the toes. We might be worried about falling on our head, we won't, we just feel more balanced. Good. So there can be space between the hands. Maybe if this is uncomfortable for the shoulders, bring hands to the hips. Nice variation. Keeping the breath flowing. Imagining the spine like a waterfall toppling forwards. I mentioned last week that I discovered, I think what we all know really, that the brain doesn't know any difference between reality and imagination. So even by just bringing that little imagination of your spine being a waterfall toppling forward, you're inviting the body to be more flexible, to let go of that tension. Beautiful. Inhale, hands to the hips if they aren't already. Draw the navel in, keep strong in the core, slightly bend the knees as you roll the spine up. Beautiful. Inhale, reach the arms wide, bring the heels in. As you reach wide, breathe in, exhale, lion's breath, bend the knees. Really nice. Inhale, long. Bring the left toes to point forwards. You're going to reach forward into a Trikonasana. And then carve the hands, right hand to the sky. Yeah, so now we're aiming for the shoulders, hips, heels all to be in line. Gaze to the thumb. If you work with Ujjayi breath and have forgotten to use it, maybe bringing it in. Inhale deeply. We're going to bring this right hand down, take another twist to the other direction. So hips are going to face forward now. Right hand maybe comes to the ground, maybe the block or piece of furniture you can hold on to here. That right foot might need to step slightly out to the side. Inhale, left hand to the sky. So we're getting twisted triangle pose, Padipita Trikonasana. Essential here to draw left hip back into the socket. Good. Maybe think about bringing weight into the outer edge of the right heel, that back heel. It will want to lift up. Bring the weight back. Not all the weights, just in. Option to step back into your child's pose, downward facing dog, or reach that left foot all the way to the side, three-legged dog. Option to lower the foot or keep it raised as you come forward into your plank pose, three-legged plank. Inhale here, exhale. Chaturanga down. Your toes come down as you inhale. Upward facing dog, squeezing elbows back, soft elbows, heart forwards. And when you're ready, exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Maybe you're here and you want to lower the knees, take child's pose. Or take 5 breaths wherever feels good for you. Wherever you are, the breath being the most important point of focus. 3 more deep breaths. Imagining the breath traveling all through the body, the spine, down the heels. Nice. And then looking between the hands, finding your way to the top of the mat, maybe floating, walking, stepping. Inhale to lift the spine halfway once you're there. Exhale to fold. Head tucks in, nose towards the shins. And an option to bend the knees as we did before and bring the entire palm underneath the sole of the foot, creating a human circuit. Circuit out of your body. It's super rejuvenating. So maybe closing your eyes here and enjoying another 3 deep breaths. Imagining that prana, life force energy traveling around the body. Maybe imagining the waterfall toppling forwards. Bringing weight more into the toes. You're not going to hurt your hand. You're going to be benefiting. Lovely. Let's release the hand. Inhale, keep the knees bent and soft as you inhale, sweep the arms wide. Eagle wings. Maybe gentle back bend on the top of your inhale. Exhale, 2 more of these. Bend the knees, bend the hips. Inhale, head is last to come up. Maybe you're not a visual person and visions of flying that come to you. But bringing in here anything that helps you connect. You can practice, maybe the eagle. Beautiful. On the next exhale, we inhale to straighten the legs. Come halfway up the spine. Exhale, left leg steps back this time, knee down. Untuck the toes, press the top of the foot into the ground. Inhale, squeeze the hands to the sky. Beautiful, bring the hips up slightly. Tuck tailbone, activate the core. Maybe right hand reaches down towards the ground. Maybe it actually touches the ground. Nice. One more deep breath. Maybe the gaze follows the right fingertips, maybe it's up to the sky. And inhale, come back to center. Reach both hands to the sky. Exhale, left hand comes down. Tucking the back toes, sweep the right hand to the sky. Taking a twist. As your neck allows, maybe the gaze follows the thumb, or maybe the neck feels more comfortable being relaxed then. Strong back leg, picking up the toes of the front foot, spread them wide. The toes always get forgotten. Let's bring all our attention there. Nice. So you now get really stable in that front foot, getting ready to lift the upper body. Draw the right hand to the back of the mat, looking over the right thumb. How stable and strong can you feel here? Maybe lowering the hips a bit more. As always, maybe bending the back knee. If that feels better for your back, draw navel in. On your next inhale, let's cartwheel the hands, open up warrior two. Hips in line with the other long edge of the mat. So now warrior two, that back foot isn't in line with the short edge of the mat, it's just off, so that you can move forwards. Nice. Inhale, all toes reach up to the sky, spread them wide. Draw the tailbone down a bit more, tuck tailbone under. Exhale, spread them wide, putting them back down on the ground. Draw the bow and arrow back and inhale, reverse the warrior right, hand sweeps over like the sun. Gaze to the right fingertips. And then option here to lift up the right heel. Can you lower the hips a little bit more? This is strong, so really breathe into that right thigh, give it all the energy, all the pranic energy it needs. Over any uncomfortable sensations will pass. You get so many benefits. Nice. Inhale, come all the way up, reach the arms wide. Pointing the toes in, exhale, hands to the waist. Look up to the sky as you breathe in. Exhale, fold forward, heart leading the way. Beautiful. So, option for hands, maybe hands reach back and pull you through more. Maybe holding onto the big toe, elbows reach for the sky. Maybe feeling like a little inversion here. So making yourself a little cradle for the head, only if this is in your practice and you feel you have a strong headstand. Putting the head down and maybe reaching the feet to the sky and not really demonstrating that today. If you're holding your big toe grip, you can use your toes to pull yourself deeper into the pose. Bring the weight forward into the toes to even it out between the heel and the front of the foot. Nice. And wherever you are, if you're in your tripod headstand, maybe making your way down in the next couple of breaths. Now we're going to inhale to lengthen the spine, come halfway up. Exhale, hands to the waist. Check that the mula bandha, all the intrinsic core muscles are hand on before we slightly bend the knees, come all the way up. Push the feet into the ground. Next, inhale, arms wide. Then bring the right heel in. Come into Trikonasana on the other side. Taking your time if you're just coming out of your headstand. And then cartwheel the hands, right hand down to the right shin, left hand to the sky. Weight into outer edges of the feet, draw the right hip forwards more. Expand the arms, your wings maybe. Nice. Inhale here, and then we're going to rotate the body towards the front of the mat, so left hand comes down. If you have nice female hips, you might want to bring the left hip foot round to create space for those curves. Inhale, right hand to the sky. Draw right hip back more. And breathe. The breath is lost. Bring the hands to the lower back or maybe back down, just facing that foot. Weight into that back out edge of the heel. And see if you can bring the weight more back into the back leg. So if you're like me, I bring a lot of weight into the front one naturally. But we are more balanced when that weight comes back. Right. Inhale deeply. Heart with my right hand down. Stepping back out of child's pose, straight into downward facing dog, or sweep the right foot to the sky, three-legged dog. Inhale here, wrinkle your spine forwards. As you exhale, we'll take one more inhale before we chaturanga down. Option to lower the knee before we do so. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Lift the heart, lift the gaze, strong legs. Then roll over the toes and you're ready. Downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths, maybe lowering the knees, take a cat-cow, maybe staying in your downward facing dog or child's pose. Really nice. Yeah, bring your next few breaths, if you're not there already, we'll meet in our downward facing dog. When we get tired, sometimes we can forget to bring that softness to the elbows. Just drawing your attention there. Lifting the seat bones more as your body warms up, the spine can lengthen even more. Beautiful. All inhale, right foot sweeping to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale, step it 3/4 of the way forward. So just placing the foot underneath the heart. Inhale, coming all the way up. Arms wide. Option here to hold onto the elbows. Hips in line with the short edge of the mat. Or maybe bringing prayer behind the heart. So the left toes are slightly out about 45 degrees. As we exhale, melt the heart forward over that right leg. So sternum and shin bone, tibia, are in line. Gaze to the big toe. And if your hands are in prayer, we encourage the prayer higher and we encourage the elbows higher. Draw chin in. So the neck is an extension of the spine. Nice. Inhale, come halfway up. Actually, sorry, all the way up. Beautiful. Exhale, release the arms. Reach them long. Right arm underneath left. So twisting them up until the prayer is found. Maybe you only come halfway or 1/4 of the way, whichever feels good. Just make sure the hands and elbows and bones are in line and shoulders, a big pull down as elbows drop. These are called the eagle arms. So we're going to bring the weight into the right foot and slowly as we can. See if you can bring that left leg to wrap around the right leg. Maybe wrapped around once, maybe wrapped around twice. If this feels not great for hips and knees, coming into tree pose. So sole of the foot just underneath the knee or above. If you're in your full eagle pose and you're feeling balanced, maybe you begin to bow down, elbows towards your knees. Bowing down to the eagle and maybe all that we can learn from it. It's higher perspective. Beautiful. Inhale, coming back up. We're all going to bring our legs into tree. So eagle in a tree pose. Maybe without using our hands, the foot only comes underneath the knee. Or maybe we can encourage it up to above the knees. Make sure it's definitely not on that knee joint line. If you've fallen out, that's fine. 5 breaths, eagle in the tree. Beautiful. I'm going to release this in the next couple of breaths, releasing the left wrist, gliding it back and coming into your eagle arms warrior. If this does not feel good for your arms, releasing the arms at any time. Reach the left leg really strongly back. Powerful warrior 3. Beautiful, relaxing the left foot down, releasing the arms. Inhale, sweeping high. Exhale, let's take a soft fold. Your head tucking in. Just 2 breaths to balance here. Option to step straight back into your downward facing dog, or to run to a vinyasa with me. As you inhale, lengthen the spine, placing hands on the mat, step back into your plank. Inhale one more time here, keep core strong, knees strong. Exhale, elbows back, chaturanga, maybe hover the body a few inches off the ground, push forward with the toes. Inhale to look to the sky. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Really nice, everyone. Bring the mind to the breath. Inhale, left leg sweeps. Exhale, step the left foot underneath your heart. Right toes out slightly. Inhale, sweep hands to the sky. Exhale, taking your arm variation, maybe holding onto elbows, maybe prayer. Maybe that prayer can wriggle up even higher. Nice. Draw right hip forward. Exhale, heart melts forward over the left leg. Nose in line with toes. Left hip pulls back into the socket. Neck is long. The jaw is relaxed. Maybe you want to stretch it out if there's any tension you've noticed building. Beautiful. Inhale. Come halfway up, release the arms. All the way up as the arms reach to the sky. Exhale, this time left arm comes underneath, right arm over. Beautiful. Lift the elbows more, draw the shoulders down back more, press the palms together. Getting weight ready to bring the weight forwards and taking your leg variation. Maybe right leg sweeps round. Sitting down as low as feels comfortable for you. And aiming eventually for those toes. Be poking forwards, they can be seen from in front. Inhale here. Exhale, beginning to bow. Option. Elbows towards knees. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Releasing, if you're in a full eagle leg pose, come into an eagle in a tree as we rest. 5 deep breaths. Knee coming out. Finding something for your gaze or drishti to hold onto. Breath really slow, controlled and conscious. Shoulders down. Mula Bandha on can really help us as we glide into our eagle warrior. The right leg flies back. You think, are there any arm variation that feels better for you? Maybe arms switching backwards. Really nice. We're going to be in flight for one more breath. Exhale, lower the right leg. Well done, everyone. Release the arms, fingertips to the ground. And last vinyasa. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Option to miss out the vinyasa as you step back into the plank. Inhale here, option to lower the knees or chaturanga fully down, keeping body, the pubes off. Inhale, sweep forward, heart reaches to the sky. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths to settle the breath. Nice. Inhale here, look forward between the hands, ripple spine forward. Lower the knees, lower the chest, and come all the way down to the ground. Reaching the arms behind you, maybe lowering the left cheek onto the ground. Going to take 3 breaths, just fully lying on the ground. Maybe we're even more aware of the sound of the heartbeat in this lying position. On your next inhale, bringing your head back to center. Roll the shoulders back, reach the arms behind you. So you're peeling the upper body off the ground, but keeping the chin tucked. Inhale, maybe the legs can lift up. Trying to encourage them to squeeze in, lift high, squeeze the glutes. And almost imagining you're flying in this position now. You lift up a little bit higher. And taking the final breath here, inhale, open the heart. Exhale, lower all 4 limbs. Bringing the right cheek to the ground this time. It's an option to keep resting here if this is feeling right for you. Always bringing your head back to center. And another option to take your hands behind your back and take a similar position to that we did before. Or if the back is feeling fine, holding onto the ankles here or maybe the feet. Squeezing the knees together. As you inhale next, kick the back legs back and peel the upper body off the ground. Flare the toes. Keeping the chin tucked. Kick back a little bit more and take 2 more deep breaths. Squeezing these together. There might be a little roll as you breathe. And whenever you're ready, exhale, release the legs. Release the other cheek to the ground, or maybe the forehead. Reaching arms forward with this time. Maybe bringing your attention to the fact you never really lie fully on the ground, usually. And how this feels, very supportive maybe. Nice, and then hands underneath your shoulders. Lifting hips up and bringing hips all the way back to the heels. Maybe knees come wide to the mat and the forehead to the ground. Maybe press the palms together and point the prayer to the sky. Bringing awareness back to the breath, to the heartbeat. The feeling of the heat on the skin and the muscles. Feeling of the blood pumping around the body. Just really bringing all that consciousness to all these things that we never are normally aware of and going on so subconsciously. On your next exhale, bring the prayer down. You're going to find our way to seated. Maybe there's a final vinyasa for you. And maybe like me, just going to sit down. Lovely. Bringing feet out in front. Sweep the hands to the sky. Maybe bending the knees deeply here as you hinge forward. Holding onto the outer edges of the feet. Draw shoulders back. Snuggle the body in. And then maybe the knees begin to straighten. But just so far that the body can remain in contact with the thighs. I'm just trying to make our body into a sandwich. If the cheek can rest in the shin. Use the final breath, even if the body is released. You might want to straighten the legs just for the sensation. All the way up. Hands beside your hips to draw the hips back along your mat. And find yourself all the way down into lying, drawing knees into the shoulders. And next inhale, feet, hands, feet facing the sky as well. And your legs are in a standing, energetical state. So it's the knees are strong, the quads are strong, toes pulling towards you. Option to stay here, especially if you're on the first few days of your menstrual cycle. Otherwise, bringing the knees towards your forehead, lifting the hips, let your knees touch the forehead as your hands bring your lower back support, fingertips pointing towards the sky. Option to stay here, or maybe feet reach over the hips. Squeeze knees together. Four more breaths. Wherever you are. Excellent. Feeling your shoulders firm, drawing your knees to the forehead. Feeling that contact. Hands maybe release the lower back as you roll all the way down. Nice. Maybe feet come all the way to the ground, keeping the legs straight. You feel that sensation of being supported again by the ground. We're going to finish our practice with a twist of your choice. As you know, I love the eagle legs, so I'm going to bring my right leg over my left, twist it round a few times, and then shift the hips to the right. Allow the knees to fall to the left, and reach the right arm away. Maybe the eyes close here. Release control of breath now. And we just allow the body to let go, so there's no holding here. So we prepare the body for the final relaxation. Allow this twist to work, massaging the internal organs. You may feel some rumbles in the stomach. Glee from our toxifying organs. Beautiful. 3 more full, soft, gentle breaths. No rushing here. And then we'll take this the other way. Whichever twist you've chosen to finish your practice in. Breath is like the soft summer breeze. And whenever you're ready, Maybe there's a final pose you want to come into, stretch or shape you want to make before you come into your Shavasana, final resting pose. So in Shavasana, we bring our feet at least mat width apart. Our legs are so relaxed that our toes roll out to the side. And draw your arms really long. You may need to lift up your lower back to squeeze the shoulder blades. So not squeeze them, but draw them, encourage them down the back. Palms to the sky and receiving, taking up as much space as you need here. And then let's lift the tailbone. Can we lengthen the tailbone even more? And with the eyes closed, we bring the attention fully to the breath. The hardest pose of all is the mind is going to want to wander. There's no distraction from movement now. We avoid all temptation to move. It's almost like we've fainted. And we just commit to our Shavasana for the next 5 minutes. Watching the breath like you watch the ocean tide. Maybe imagining breathing in and out directly from the heart space. Which is where they say the archetype of the eagle resides in our body. Maybe just for the last half a minute or so of our Shavasana, you may like to bring your hands just over your heart space. What the eagle teaches us is that within us we always have the potential to see any situation from a higher perspective. This potential we hold in our heart. And maybe on your next inhale, taking your hands above your head, placing your toes long, arms long. Maybe creating banana shapes as you wake up the body and invite the life back in. And drawing knees into your chest, giving yourself a little hug, thanking yourself for coming onto the mat today in your practice. And lowering the head, maybe reaching the right arm long again and rolling onto the right hand side. So maybe your upper arm is creating a pillow, and taking a moment here to reflect on any intention you may have set at the beginning of the practice. And in your own time, your own way, let them meet and see. Option to keep the eyes closed or open them as you feel best for you. Let's seal our practice with a single Om. Bringing prayer to the heart. Inhaling deeply. Allowing the vibrations to travel through the skull, your brain, all the bones and tissues of your body. If you'd like to join me, bringing your prayer to the third eye center, reminding us to have pure and loving thoughts. And prayer just in front of the mouth, reminding us to have pure and loving communication. And bringing the prayer just in front of the heart, reminding us to have pure and loving intentions from the highest perspective. And maybe taking a bow down to the earth, sending anyone right now who might need it, this amazing energy that you've created. Sending this love. Thanking your body, everything that has brought you here to this moment. Namaste everyone. Thank you so much for practicing this thing.